3 doctors have been arrested in recent days in a federal crackdown on alleged participants in China's so-called Thousand Talents plan. The FBI claims the program paid the 3 men to attempt to steal U.S. intellectual property and scientific research. Editor-in-Chief Cabot Phillips joins us now to discuss what campus reform has uncovered about secrets being sold to China and more about what's going on our campuses. Cabot, good to have you back.
It's great to be on.
Okay, I want to read something from Real Clear Politics. Let me read this to you real quick. It says, for years, the Chinese government has worked to co-opt American students, scholars, and institutions of higher education. The Chinese government has sought to shape American students' knowledge and beliefs through programs such as Confucius Institutes. Tell us what those are and what you guys have found.
Yeah, so Confucius Institutes are Chinese Communist Party-funded centers on college campuses. They purport to teach Chinese language and culture to students on campus, but the Chinese Ministry of Propaganda openly admits that they are propaganda centers hoping to influence the curriculums on campus and to make sure that they are controlling the narrative around the Chinese government. So that's on 75 college campuses in America today, operating completely freely there to spread their propaganda on campus. The other element of this is the Chinese Communist Party essentially buying research from American professors. And we've seen a whole spat of professors recently, 3 this month, but we've been reporting at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform, a dozen in the past year or so, that have been caught using federal research dollars to conduct research here in America and then turning around and selling it to the Chinese Communist Party secretly. One professor at UCLA caught selling Navy and Air Force missile secrets. Another professor at Harvard caught being paid $1.5 million to help set up a secret medical lab in Wuhan, China. Another professor in West Virginia saying he was going on paternity leave, when in reality he actually went to China secretly, was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to give them research that he had conducted with American taxpayer dollars. And so that's what's going on campus, and it's time for our leaders in Washington to take action on this.
And I know that you have been tracking something where you say there are actually tens of millions of dollars coming into U.S. colleges from China, and apparently they're breaking some laws, or this is being handled illegally. You say they're not reporting the funding. I mean, does anybody get held accountable for that?
Very rarely. So the Department of Education looked and found 48 universities that had failed to disclose hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign donations. Now, why are they keeping it a secret if there's nothing sketchy going on? That's a question people are asking. And I've been meeting with legislators in D.C., urging them to take action. And I think there's 3 things we should be doing when it comes to this. First off, is just making the American people aware of what's going on. The Chinese government openly views our campuses as soft targets. People need to be aware of that so they can urge legislators to do something about it. The first step is accountability and urging them to do something about it. Any professor that's caught should be held accountable to the furthest extent of the law. We need to dissuade professors from using taxpayer dollars and then searching abroad for the highest bidder and selling out the American people in exchange for a fat payday from the Chinese Communist Party. And the third part is the federal government. They do play a role in this. I'm very hesitant to ask the federal government to swoop in to save the day, but when it comes to national security, it is their job. They should be passing laws to shut down all of these Confucius Institutes on campus and use resources to investigate any professor that we think might be working with the Chinese behind the scenes.
Well, Cabot, you know cases that are out there. People can Google it and check it out for themselves. Thanks for tracking it and keep us updated. Thank you, Cabot.
Thanks so much. Campusreform.org/China. We've got all the stories for your viewers out there. Thanks so much.
Okay. All right. Some good news before we say goodnight. Stimulus